Once you've examined frequency distributions for your variables, the next decision you need to make is whether you want to subset the data and ask a question based on a specific set of observations, or whether you want to ask the question of the entire sample. In other words, are there particular rows in the data set, that is, individual observations, that you want to keep and others that you want to exclude? For example, we are most interested in the association between smoking and nicotine dependence in young adults, who may still be establishing their smoking patterns. Therefore, we decide to examine only those adults who are 25 or younger and exclude all adults older than the age of 25. We also decide that we want to focus on recent smokers rather than individuals who have smoked more than a year ago. So the original research question for our example is further clarified to include the association between smoking and nicotine dependence, but only among young adults who have smoked in the past 12 months. The research question is not changed. Rather, the question will be asked based on only a subset of the observations that are available in a specific data set that will help us answer our research question. To implement these decisions, we'll go back to our program and add additional code. This additional code includes logic statements. Specifically, you need to add logic statements that tell the program to include only those observations that will help you answer your research question. Logic statements require one or more operations. Here's a table of common operations used in Python. These include equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Here's a group of 3 logic statements that will need to be added to our program in order to call in the specified subset of observations, that is, rows in the data set, to be used as the basis for answering our question. Sub1 is the name I have chosen for my data set or data frame where I will choose that subset of observations. If age greater than or equal to 18 and less than or equal to 25, and if check 321 equals 1, which is the variable and value for those smoking cigarettes in the past 12 months. Notice that we still had to tell Python where to find the variables by using the name of the original dataset, data, along with the variable name in each part of the coding statement. Also, variable names are placed within brackets and quotation marks. Each logic statement is enclosed in parentheses. The ampersand is used to indicate an and between our logic statements. Finally, brackets enclose this group of logic statements. At this point, it can often be useful to make a copy of this new subsetted data with the following code: sub2 equal to sub1 dot copy empty parentheses. This is not always necessary, but can eliminate a setting with copy warning that is often displayed. Moving forward, the data set or data frame we would refer to in our programming statements is sub2 rather than our original data frame. Note that since our data set has both rows and columns, you have to tell Python which rows, or in cases where you want to subset based on variables rather than observations, which columns you want to include. In this case, all of the columns or variables are still available to use, but sub2 includes only the rows with young adults who have smoked in the past year. Let's add the code to get a frequency distribution for the variable age, and for the smoking in the past 12 months variable, check 321, in both cases drawing on the new data frame sub2. When this code is saved and run, you can see frequency distributions for both of the variables, but only for the 1,706 individuals aged 25 and younger who reported smoking in the past 12 months. I can be confident that I am now working with this sample because, as you can see, all of the 1,706 observations have a 1, meaning yes, for having smoked in the past 12 months, and only 18 to 25-year-olds are included in the sample. If for your own research question you are completely unsure at this point whether or not you want to limit your question to a subset of observations, no worries. In that case, there would be no need for you to add any additional statements to your program. This is always a decision and an example you can revisit in the future. As you will notice when you look through the programs on the website, I've included notes in my code preceded by a number symbol to help me remember what specific lines of code do. As you keep adding to your code, it will become difficult to remember why you wrote what you wrote. By using the number or pound sign, you are able to comment out your notes so that Python does not read them as actual programming statements. These notes appear in gray within your script or program. You should definitely use this commenting out technique early and often as you build your program. These notes can be very important because they will help you keep track of decisions you've made and actions you've taken in writing your code. It's highly recommended to keep one detailed, commented, and organized Python program for your project. This is because you want to have a program file that you can use to rerun the commands you've written. At this point, and whenever you've added something to your program or script file, you want to save it. Here are 2 additional quick tips. Given that Python is case sensitive, it can be difficult to remember to type variable names correctly, given that some CSV files will include variable names in all uppercase letters, some in all lowercase letters, and some in a mix of lower and uppercase. To alleviate this uncertainty, you can also include code in your program that systematically changes all variable names in your data frame to either all lowercase or all uppercase letters. After loading your CSV file, you just include one of the following statements using the map function, identifying the data frame and asking Python to convert all text strings to either upper or lowercase letters. The second tip is meant to help you avoid runtime error messages that may appear in your console. If you receive a runtime error, include the following set option code in your program. I typically place it immediately following the library import statements in my program.